If we came outside, literally where I'm at right now, I could kill you. I'm not saying I want to kill you or want to take you off this earth, but realistically, I'll kill you if we fought. Hand-to-hand combat. So with all that being said, boxers, y'all gotta quit. All right? Y'all will get your ass whooped by somebody that is a UFC fighter.
Yup, that's Joaquin Buckley, currently ranked number 9 in the UFC welterweight division. If you know nothing about this guy, let me explain something to you about him. Back when I first started my YouTube channel, we were going live for every single UFC event, some of the boxing fights. But I picked Joaquin Buckley to be my 2024 Fighter of the Year. He had got 4 wins in 2024. Very active, knocked out Stephen Wonderboy Thompson in dramatic fashion. Huge right hand, just put all his body into it. Boom! Stephen Wonderboy Thompson's body just shut down. Got wins over Zoltan, Vicente Luque, and finished off the year 2024 with a win over Kobe Covington. Got as high in the UFC rankings in the welterweight division as number 5. But recently lost and only fought 1 time in 2025 to Kamaru Usman. Some people would say he's one of the greatest welterweight champions to ever live. I still think it's GSP, but there's an argument if you want to say whatever. This is a guy who was coming off a 2-year layoff, going into that fight against Joaquin Buckley, a man who absolutely runs his mouth. If you ask anybody in the UFC welterweight rankings right now, Islam Makhachev, Michael Morales, Ian Gary, Carlos Prates, Sean Brady, Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman, any one of these guys, how you feel about Joaquin Buckley, I guarantee you they will tell you that he's a clout chaser, he's a big mouth dude looking to talk the most crap, but when it comes to these big fights, when it comes to actual technical skill, he actually won't be a lot of dudes. Now, I was a big fan of Joaquin Buckley, right? I like the way he is. I like the brashness that he shows. But there's no denying that a lot of UFC fighters think this guy's annoying. Specifically, Israel Adesanya is a guy who used to call him annoying back in the days.
I don't even use the word hate lightly, but I hate this nigga, bro. Something about him just annoys me. Like, literally, I'm just trying to chill, talk, like, hey, man, you know, we got to get this going, man. You mean like he's rapping to me. I'm like, every single time. He's just fucking annoying. And at one point, I literally just walked away as he was talking.
Not only is Israel Adesanya talking smack on him, but he recently just went off on the welterweight division, saying that nobody's fighting, that the UFC ain't doing anything, the matchmaking and this and that. You know, basically, at the same time explaining this, but talking smack on every single one of these fighters. You know, just making fun of them in every different type of way, because every single one of these fighters in the welterweight division is a little different.
But right now, they got the hottest division and ain't nobody fighting. You got Islam out there playing wrestle ball, you know? You got Prates out there partying, clubbing. You got Morales out there twerking and twirling. You got JDM still at the house crying. You got Leon missing again. You got Bilal trying to sell war meals. You got Ian Gary watching in the corner. Boy, I don't know what's going on. Like, what's going on with the welterweight division? We got to get things active.
But, Joaquin, we all understand, you know, coming from a boxing background, that if we stepped into the UFC octagon, you guys are more than likely going to beat us due to the fact of the leg kicks, the takedowns. I'm a guy who's taken a leg kick from UFC fighter, featherweight fighter, Yusuf Zalal, who is currently ranked in the top 10. And I couldn't walk for a whole goddamn week. I let him kick me 1 time on my leg. I swear I couldn't walk for a whole week. Dead. It's a different game when you go into their world. Now, if a UFC fighter comes to the boxing world, you know boxers always win. We've seen this with Conor McGregor. We've seen this recently with Francis Ngannou. Now, in the streets, yes, a UFC fighter more than likely gonna win. If a boxer can't get off that 1-2 combination before a UFC fighter is able to grab his legs, or his boxers from the outside, but the UFC fighter throws a leg kick and the boxer doesn't really notice it, it's a little different. of course they can win. A boxer has a chance as well. Not as high as a possibility as a UFC fighter. But it's simple math. It is not nothing new. Shakur Stevenson and Terrence Bud Crawford, the reason why Joaquin Buckley is calling these guys out to a fight, saying he would kill them in the street, is, in my opinion, immature and just another clout-chasing moment from Joaquin Buckley. And that's coming from a guy that understands who he is, what type of guy he is. Because if you watch that Aiden Ross podcast, Terrence Bud Crawford says the same thing that I just said, giving the UFC respect.
Here, tell them come fight me.
Hold on a second. What about...
UFC is good for what they do, and we good for what we do.
That makes
you know
sense.
What I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
You gotta think, if I can't whoop you with my hands, I can kick you, I can take you down.
True, it's different.
You know, it's a whole different mental capacity.
The only disrespectful thing that I would say that might have come from that was Shakur Stevenson telling Aiden Ross, you know, what's up with you, and saying that UFC is more exciting than boxing. Aiden Ross told him, dude, honestly, I think when you show up to the stadium, I think MMA is just a little bit more exciting than boxing.
Oh, I saw you say that. You gotta take that back.
What?
You say that the UFC is better than boxing.
It's true, and you know it's true.
It's not true.
Come
It's
on,
not
even look, even he's smiling. Yo, you come on, bro. You know, hey, yo.
The human experience is better. I think the human, going there and watching it is better than boxing.
Yeah, it is.
Shakur Stevenson found otherwise. Now, we all know their beef with Aaliyah Tapourier. They were talking about Tapourier, but we can't sit here and deny that Tapourier was not clout chasing with Terrence Bud Crawford. I covered that whole thing that was going down leading up to the Terrence Bud Crawford and Canelo Alvarez fight. Crawford absolutely gave him no attention in the interview they did, calling him a drunk man. Calling UFC fighters general as drunk men. And I didn't think that was right either. So I'm not being biased here. But I will say Joaquin Buckley just likes to do this, man. If this is something he likes to do, I would say it's clout chasing. I think he understands he's never going to get a fight with Terrence Bud Crawford or Shakur Stevenson. I think his reaction was definitely uncalled for from what Shakur Stevenson and Terrence Bud Crawford was doing. And I think at the end of the day, Joaquin Buckley got what he wanted. This is exactly what he wanted. He got Terrence Bud Crawford to respond to him on Twitter, right? Saying, we got switches for these type of guys. I'm a little too old. I'm retired. Guys like Jamal Charlo, former 154 super welterweight, junior middleweight, whatever you want to call it, undisputed king, coming out and saying, why didn't you just DM him? Huh? You broke UFC fighter. That's what he said. I'm not saying that. That's what he said. Starting commotion is what Joaquin Buckley did, and he successfully did that. Now, do I think it was right? Nah, Joaquin. Come on, Joaquin. Come on, man. You know for a goddamn fact what you're saying and all this and that. There's no reason for it. You're just out here trying to create clout, and at the end of the day, that's all it is. This is the MMA Boxing Addicts channel reporting to you. Let me know what you guys thought, man.